This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. It is Friday.
TGIF, yes. A little chilly start, but not nearly as cold as it was yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it quite warm yet, but not quite as bitter as yesterday. What do you have over there, John?
And darn tootin', you're about right on that one.
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin', all
Darn
right.
tootin'.
Thank you.
Yeah, forecast verifying pretty well, I think. We're looking at temperatures across the region that are running significantly about 5 to 8 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. We have a freeze warning up for areas east of the interstate. And that was probably a tough call for the Weather Service to make because we're kind of a borderline situation. But things are working out. Inland temperatures in Wauchula, Arcadia in the upper 30s at this hour. Briefly, in a few places, may have touched the freezing mark, but nothing like yesterday. I mean, yesterday, the inland temperatures were recording 25 degrees, 26 degrees at this hour, and now we're at 38 or so. 38 in Sarasota, 36 in Bradenton. The drive time forecast for this morning, upper 30s, low 40s for your commute to work. Not as cold on the way home, though, in the 60s. So we do have first alert weather again this morning for your morning hours because the temperatures are still in the 30s, significantly below average. But the warm-up starts this afternoon. We'll talk about it in just a few.
It's funny how 38 suddenly sounds mild.
It does. Sounds so much warmer.
Oh, good. It's so relative these days. Anyway, there's the maps right now. Little build up there as you leave Bradenton on 14th Street West in the southbound lane. Otherwise pretty clear. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County. Little blip there out of Lakewood Ranch at the diverging diamond right there. Otherwise pretty clear. South County all clear at 5:02 on your Friday morning.
Our top story this half hour, Venice city officials are warning people to boil their water after a water main break.
The break happened near the intersection of Pine Grove Drive and South Tamiami Trail. Our Marla Spence is live in Venice. Marla, what should residents do about this water main break?
Well, they're being advised to boil their water or simply use bottled water. If they need to use water this morning, that boil advisory comes after Wednesday when a main water break broke in this area of Pine Grove Drive and South Tamiami Trail in Venice. Businesses and residents, they're being told to boil their water for at least 72 hours, and that was as of Wednesday. According to the Facebook page for the city of Venice, they posted that they hope to rescind that boil water advisory today. In the meantime, people are being asked not to drink the water or use the water without boiling it. Now, you can boil that water for at least a minute. You just have to wait till that water comes to a rolling boil in order for you to use it, or city officials are saying to simply use bottled water. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Marla, thank you. From cold weather to the heated controversy over leadership in a Manatee County fire district.
That's right. Protesters lined up outside the Cedar Hammock District Board meeting last night, upset with some of the actions between the current fire chief and his employees. Our Rick Adams was there.
No fire trucks were putting out these fired-up protesters on Thursday night.
The issues are unfair treatment of the firefighters, violations of their rights, which all firefighters in this county, the next county, have.
Jessica Duncan held a sign for her brother-in-law, Lieutenant Nick Herlihy, who she feels was wrongfully terminated by Cedar Hammock Fire District Chief Jeffrey Hoyle.
He is the top of the department. He does not have anybody that can appeal any decisions he makes on disciplinary actions, and he is the problem.
She's not alone. The union representing Cedar Hammock and other Suncoast firefighters is backing a grievance Herlihy has since filed against Chief Hoyle. In a 2016 letter, the union's legal team suggests Herlihy was wrongfully demoted a year before his termination.
If that kind of thing can happen to him, then it can happen to others, and I think all the firefighters need support.
Hoyle was promoted from fire marshal to chief in 2013 after 19 years with Cedar Hammock. His predecessor, Randy Stolze, told fire district commissioners Thursday that current personnel are applying to other departments, and he questioned the current leadership. However, Stolze was cut off after his designated 2 minutes.
And I was just concerned that how a 12-year employee, especially the fire chief who built this fire station and the one down by the airport, couldn't be given an additional minute and 5 seconds.
Chief Hoyle declined comment after the meeting, citing one fire that still needs to be put out, that active grievance between Lieutenant Herlihy and the fire district. Adam Cellini, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Other news now, a new website is highlighting cold cases. In fact, it features 400 unsolved murders, including 89 in Manatee County. The Manatee Sheriff's Office is one of the 10 law enforcement agencies across the state listing unsolved murder on the Cold Case State website. It's giving people like Jill Mullins hope. Her husband was found dead tied to an anchor in the Manatee River years ago.
Well, I hope it can help Pat's situation, our families. I think it's a great idea. I don't know who to thank for it, but if it can bring any case to resolution, then it's absolutely worth it.
You can find a link to the Cold Case site on our website, mysuncoast.com.
And a follow-up in Manatee County as a Bradenton man now faces life in prison after being convicted for attempted murder and battery. Mauro Ramirez will now be sentenced for shooting a 21-year-old man in the parking lot of El Paisano restaurant in Bradenton. The victim survived the shooting, but Ramirez faces 25 years to life in prison. A sentencing date has not yet been set.
Happening today, the woman accused of giving people Botox out of her home in Bradenton will be in court later on this morning. Diane Denka was arrested performing Botox injections allegedly and possibly other services on hundreds of people. Detectives say it was going on for 6 years in that house right there. During a search warrant, officers found hundreds of medical records and supplies that include vials of counterfeit injections, morphine pills, and a skin science machine for dermabrasion. She'll be arraigned today, which means she will enter a plea in court.
And a local dog that triumphantly avoided a death sentence for biting a toddler back in 2015 has allegedly attacked another victim. Dr. Paul Gartenberg, the veterinarian owner of Patty the dog, is being sued by a 17-year-old girl and her mother after the black lab allegedly attacked the girl. Now, according to court documents, the dog bit her, causing injury, had to be pulled off the victim in that case. Now, according to the lawsuit, Dr. Gartenberg is being sued for $15,000, and the dog must be restricted from the Bradenton Pet Clinic. Patty's last court case led to amended state laws regarding euthanizing dogs that cause injury in an attack.
In southern Sarasota County, Venice city workers are taking action about a growing rat problem. At least 20 garbage dumpsters in an alley near Venice Avenue are being sealed to stop rats from sneaking in. There goes one. The dumpsters had an opening in the base to allow for draining, but workers put plugs in those holes because they fear the rats are increasing in numbers thanks to the easy access to food.
The rats could actually go up the telephone pole or up the wall, get on the lids, get in the container, and eat.
City staff hopes cutting off the food supply will force the rats away from the downtown area. They'll plug more dumpsters next week. Surprised it doesn't happen more often, really.
Right, I know.
For the latest on this story, check our breaking news up-to-minute forecast. Go to our web store and check out WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, some lucky Suncoast students got an unusual lesson in physics yesterday. The Circus Arts Conservatory put science into action with a larger-than-life demonstration of physics, force, mass, and acceleration. Now, if you really think about it, circus, it's actually considered to be an art form in itself of movement, skill, and coordination, and can also be a great learning tool. Now, the event is in partnership with area school districts as a part of their academic curriculum. Both Sarasota and Manatee County schools participated in the annual demonstration.
Bradenton Palmetto are gearing up for the 4th annual Bradenton Area River Regatta. Regatta organizers announced today that this year's event will be the biggest yet. Aside from the racing boats, a 90-foot tall illuminated gondola, what do you say?
Gondola, I think.
Gondola?
Yes.
All right. Ferris will be in place this year. A number of bands will also be performing at the regatta. More than 100,000 people are expected to attend, generating millions of dollars for the area. The Bradenton Area River Regatta kicks off Saturday, February 3rd.
And in consumer news now, Wells Fargo is apologizing again, this time for a glitch that drained some customer accounts by double paying their bills online. The banking giant says the processing error that caused the double posting of some items was fixed overnight. Angry customers slammed Wells Fargo on Twitter, saying their accounts became overdrawn because of the mistake. The company said it would refund any related fees or charges in any of those cases. It's just the latest embarrassment for Wells Fargo, which is still trying to repair its reputation after a year of scandals.
U.S. safety regulators are recalling more cars with faulty Takata airbag inflators. The 14 vehicles are now from major automakers like Ford, Nissan, Toyota. In December, Takata recalled over 3 million additional faulty airbag inflators as it expanded the largest automotive recall in U.S. history. Check with your local dealer who sells your particular brand.
And Amazon has narrowed the list of cities under consideration for its second headquarters to 20. And the Suncoast did not make the cut, but one Florida city actually did. Amazon, based in Seattle, plans to invest about $5 billion in the new headquarters. It could employ as many as 50,000 people in and around the city that it chooses. Now, among the cities listed in the finals are Miami, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Denver, and New York City. Now, that winner is expected to be announced later on this year. Both Manatee and Sarasota counties submitted bids to Amazon.
They should have gotten together with one bid.
They did. That's actually what Tampa and St. Pete did. They pooled their resources together.
But I don't think Manatee and Sarasota did.
Separately, they did it separately.
Yeah, might have joined forces.
Amazon doesn't know what they'll be missing.
They're right.
Living
They're going to be warm all the time.
Right. Well,
sunshine.
Almost all the time.
Almost all the time.
There you go.
Amazon, I promise. It's so warm here.
We've got a warm up, and we're going to deliver it to your door, and you don't need Prime within 24 hours.
Nice.
It's a warm up that's going to occur this afternoon. We have a first alert weather warning, though, because it's still kind of cold outside, many places in the 30s. We'll talk about that in a second.
Also ahead, first alert traffic, and look at some of the biggest events this weekend in Linda Carson's weekly Suncoast scene.
And coming up a little later in the hour, ever wondered what your portrait might look like as fine art? Well, there it is. We here on Good Morning Suncoast, we took the challenge with the new Google Arts and Culture app, and just wait till you see all the results. That is still ahead.
Here's a peek outside at the Rosemary District. Pretty shot there right now, though. We're at 38 degrees, so don't let your guard down quite yet. John's forecast is next.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
It's time to take a road trip.
If you love the beach, Alabama's Gulf Coast has 32 miles of sugar white sand and turquoise water. Looking for a room with a view? We have them. Beachside and Bayside. There's incredible history. Whoa! And the seafood is fresh from the Gulf. Another round of shrimp for my friends. Yeah! Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we still have a freeze warning, which was issued yesterday afternoon from the interstate eastward. Nothing for the coastline. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about this too much. I think that most places are not going to hit the freezing mark. So, and certainly tonight there'll be no freeze. And in fact, we start a warm up this afternoon, which will carry us right into the weekend. Weekend looks like it's going to be just beautiful. And then we have a chance at some rain showers coming in a little bit later next week. It is a first alert weather morning because of those cooler temperatures out there. We've got 38 degrees at the airport. And yesterday we were just about at the freezing mark at this hour. We bottomed out at 30, and there is just no way we can do that today. The moisture levels back up to dew point of 31. That is theoretically the lowest temperature we could hit this morning, and we're not going to do that. So probably above freezing in most places here on the Suncoast. As we progress through the morning hours, we'll see temperatures that'll maybe bottom out at about 35, 36 degrees, and we'll continue to raise our temperatures under the influence of a lot of sunshine up to about 63 degrees. Should be pretty nice for a lot of folks. For some folks, that'll still be kind of cool. Certainly much colder than average, probably about 7 to 10 degrees cooler than average for this time of year. And then we'll cool off, but we'll cool off much slower this evening than we did yesterday evening, and there certainly won't be the winds around. So if you're planning on dining outside or walking around the city or taking a walk on the beach this evening, perfect weather for it, I think. You may need a light jacket or sweater, but other than that, things look good. Most of the country is quiet today. We have a storm system back to the west. We have one in Texas, and we have one offshore of the northeast. That one, no bother to us. High pressure builds in for us, and our winds are directed out of the northeast today. The more easterly we can turn those winds, the warmer our temperatures will become as we bring in a little bit more of that moist air from the Atlantic coastline, and the temperatures are a little bit warmer further to the south, obviously, and if we can twist those winds eastward, we'll tap into that. Low pressure back toward the west in Texas may bring us some high-level clouds over the weekend, but really shouldn't be a bother. Moisture may lift up from the south and bring us a chance of rain as we head into next week, combined with a frontal boundary, which will be headed our way. But until then, we'll be watching that easterly twist of the wind as high pressure kind of reorients itself a little bit closer to the Atlantic. Warm us up right straight into the weekend. In fact, we'll be back to about average temperatures by the time we get to Saturday or Sunday. No freeze tonight. Showers possible next week with a frontal boundary that'll kind of wag its tail over the state of Florida as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's what you'll notice in the extended range forecast. For boaters today, certainly a much better day. Northeast wind coming in at about 5 to 10, giving you 2-foot seas and a moderate to light chop on bay and inland waters. We're looking at kind of cold today. We'll call it 64. Tomorrow, a little cool, but certainly nicer, getting close to that 70 mark. And then as we hit Sunday, we're spot on for about where we should be at this time of year. Then that front kind of wags its tail, as I mentioned, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, bringing us slight rain chances each of those days. Back to you.
All right, let's take a look at your traffic. It is pretty smooth going out there. Very quiet traffic around this time. It's 5:18. Not much to see in Manatee County at all. All the roads are looking pretty good. Same thing for Sarasota and North County. That's all looking good. Even Fruitville, which is typically a little congested around this time, that's looking good. And the same thing for South Sarasota County. That one is looking good too. So you've got a great commute out there this morning at 5:18. Well, after the cold is gone this afternoon, we've got a ton of events coming up right here on the Suncoast this weekend.
A ton.
A ton.
Let's check it out.
So many.
Our Linda Carson has more on the Suncoast scene.
One of the greatest places to be this weekend, the Sarasota County Fairgrounds and the Native American Indian Festival. These guys really know how to entertain you.
We're going to have a gathering of Native American art, culture, dance, music, food, and we're here to share the Native American culture with Sarasota.
And Singing in the Rain is now at the Players Center. Logan Junkins plays the lead. Good morning.
Good morning to you. It's set in 1927 in Hollywood, California, during the time where silent pictures were just about ending and the talkies were being introduced. And so he's going through the challenges of changing over to those new pictures and Yet he finally falls in love.
And that has him singing in the rain.
Good morning.
And Mr. Swindle's traveling pecularium is coming to Inglewood.
It is a live show featuring acrobatic artists, aerialists, comedians, live singers, live musicians, and so much more.
The producers are a part of the Flying Españols family, just inducted into the Circus Ring of Fame. This showcases the most unusual acts they've seen, like Lady Elastic.
I do 2 acts in the show. I'm Lady Elastic, so I do a contortion hand balancing act, which my last trick is actually shooting a arrow with a bow in my feet. And then I also do hula hoops.
And this weekend, the Venice Nokomis Rotary Club presents their Fine Arts Festival Friday through Sunday. The band Bandana opens Friday.
We have 80 artists, we have food trucks, we have a children's area, we have 2 classic car shows, and this year our nonprofit outreach is with the soccerdogs.org. And they bring in dogs that have been found in shelters, and they play soccer against humans, and they never lose.
100% of the proceeds go to local youth-focused organizations.
Last year, our investment in youth distributed over $50,000 to youth organizations, and since 2005, we've had about over $600,000 go to youth organizations.
And so the Venice Nokomis Rotary Club is making last-minute preparations. This will be their 26th annual Fine Arts and Crafts Festival. It'll be at the Venice Airport Festival grounds. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Lady Elastic.
Lady Elastic. That is something I will never be called. I'm old. I played sports too long.
Well said.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we're going to tell you why Def Leppard has finally given digital music platforms like Spotify and Apple Music permission to stream their songs.
And next half hour, we'll go live to Venice for an update on a water main break in that area. Those stories and more on the way. But first, outside our window, that's what we get. 38 degrees, a high of 63 later on today. John's forecast about 10 minutes away.
The last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
So have you ever wondered what your photo might look like as a piece of fine art in a museum? Every day, right? Well, now you can find out, kind of. One of the most trending apps of the week is Google's Arts and Culture app. And all you have to do is download the app, take a selfie, and then its algorithm matches your face with a painting. So we decided to give it a shot around here. And here are the results. Here is Ray's, which, can I just tell you how much your eyes look like that guy?
You think so?
Yes, I totally think there's definitely a resemblance there.
You really think you saw that guy in the street, you think it looks like me?
Well, you know, I might be more obsessed with his clothes. Here's mine. Mine is a little boy. I got matched with a little boy.
That's worse. How about Marla? How'd Marla come out?
Marla's so cute. Look how cute this one is. Marla's so cute. But I think our favorite might be John Scalzi right there. We throw a fancy goatee on this man and part his hair in the middle, and he is this guy right there.
And he has to wear a doily around his neck.
He has to wear a doily around his neck. Now, if you want to do the same thing, all you have to do is go online. You download the Google Arts and Culture app, and you can do the same thing. It's just a selfie, and then it'll match you up, and you have all kinds of ones to choose from.
That is so funny.
All right, no shortage of great things out there in the world of text. Well, speaking of social media, there's a new feature on Instagram. I'm not sure about this one yet. That lets your followers see just how long ago you were active on the site.
Here is this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a new Instagram feature that shows when you're active.
The app allows people you follow or have chatted with to see when you last used Instagram, similar to features on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. For now, it's only visible in direct messages. General Motors is hoping to put a fully autonomous car on the road.
The Cruise AV has no steering wheel, no pedals, and no human control whatsoever.
GM has filed a petition with the U.S. Department of Transportation asking to unleash the Cruise in 2019.
And it's a big day for Def Leppard fans. Starting today, the band's music is available on Spotify, Apple Music, and several other digital music platforms.
The guys say they didn't get into digital streaming because they wanted to see if it was here to stay. And they also say they didn't need the money.
They've been hanging on to the whole 8-track thing, hoping it would come back.
It's working. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Walgreens.
See you. Take care.
Systemic, so probably take it at night. And if you have any questions, the instructions are kind of in Spanish as you request it.
At Walgreens, how we care will change over time. But why we care remains the same. Treating everyone with the care and attention they deserve. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
Behold the power of protein in Bird's Eye protein blends.
Okay.
They're delicious side dishes with the protein of beans, whole grains,
And veggies. Good. My work here is done.
Bird's Eye protein blends. So veggie good.
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do, so he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways.
protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on that possible government shutdown looming on Capitol Hill.
Plus, as we start another cold day here on the Suncoast, we're hearing that last year was one of the hottest on record. We'll have the numbers for you.
Well, the juice is loose, but has O.J. Simpson scrapped his plans to move here to Florida? We've got those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning to you, 5:31 on this beautiful Friday morning. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Suncoast this morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. A slightly milder start, 38, which sounds like a heat wave after
sounds
yesterday.
balmy now. Oh, it's all good. It's 38.
Still cold out there, John Scalzi.
Boy, so hot, so hot. Oh, my goodness. Turn up the AC. Yeah, it is a cold start to the morning with most places in the 30s, but the good news is I think your concerns that you may have about your landscaping and plants, potted plants and such, probably we're going to avoid a freeze in most all locations across the Suncoast. Maybe an isolated spot or two in inland areas may see the freezing temperature for a brief period of time. Becky in Omayaka, when she calls in, wouldn't be surprised if she's hit the freezing mark, but in most locations, not so. Looking at temperatures across the region, generally running much warmer, with 37 degrees in Wauchula, 38 in Arcadia, where yesterday at this hour it was 25 degrees. Cooper in central Sarasota picks up 39 right now. Mark in Palmetto has 34. Richard in Northport comes up with 34 as well. Day planner calling for temperatures to continue to rise. Will be about 35 by 7 a.m. Got a couple more hours of cooling before we start to warm up again. 12 noon, 56, and by 3 o'clock, positively sweltering at 63 degrees. Back to you guys.
All relative. All right, thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. A little build up there on 70 in both directions around Lockwood Ridge. Otherwise pretty clear in Manatee County. Farther south, so far so good at this point of the day. We'll check back though in 15 minutes. South County, a little blip there around 41 between Northport and Port Charlotte.
Our top story this half hour, Venice city officials are warning people to boil their water after water main break.
The break happened near the intersection of Pine Grove Drive and South Tamiami Trail. Our Marla Spence is live from that area with more on the break and what happens next. Marla, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, guys. This area behind me on Pine Grove Drive and Tamiami Trail is the culprit behind the boil advisory that many are hoping will come to an end by today. A main water break happened in this area Wednesday, and because of it, people have been asked to boil their tap water or use bottled water for the past 72 hours. As of now, we are monitoring the Facebook page for the city of Venice to see whether that boil advisory will be coming to an end. This is something that we will keep you updated with once we find out the latest on this boil advisory and when people are able to use their tap water again. Reporting live in Venice, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla.
All right, now we turn to Capitol Hill, where a shutdown looks more certain by the hour.
Yeah, Senate Democrats are rallying against the GOP's proposals, saying they won't vote for it until there's protection for the so-called Dreamers immigration issue. ABC's Gloria Riviera has the latest from Washington.
The yeas are 230, the nays are 197. The motion is adopted.
With less than 24 hours to go, House Republicans managed to pass another short-term fix to avoid a government shutdown. That bill now goes to a deeply divided Senate.
We're trying to keep the government open. I hope the Democrats will come forth and help us.
GOP lawmakers need a significant number of Democrats on board to avoid a filibuster. President Trump placing the onus on them.
Could happen. We'll see what happens. It's up to the Democrats.
On 2 points of serious contention, the House plan offered first extending the Children's Health Insurance Program, known as CHIP, for 6 years. But earlier Thursday, President Trump tweeting, CHIP should be part of a long-term solution, not a 30-day or short-term extension. The White House later saying Trump backs the GOP plan. A second point of contention, DACA, the Dreamers Act, no mention in the House bill.
The president created this mess, though, by essentially rescinding the DACA program and creating this artificial crisis, and they need to work with us to fix it.
Democrats saying any spending deal that does not protect the more than 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought to this country as children is a non-starter.
If there is no deal in place by midnight, the government will start to shut down non-essential operations. Just one example of a real repercussion possible, the military would continue to work, but troop payment could be frozen. Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington.
And a Trump administration appointee resigned after past controversial comments have been revealed. Carl Higbee stepped down yesterday as Chief of External Affairs for the Corporation for National and Community Service. A CNN K-File review found in 2013 and 2014, Higbee made a series of derogatory statements about African Americans, gays, immigrants, and Muslims on several radio shows. The former Navy SEAL even went after military veterans, saying those who suffer from severe PTSD have, quote, a weak mind or are lying to get benefits. A spokesman for the CNCS says Higbee's resignation is effective immediately. And a follow-up now on the deadly winter storm from the south to the northeast, where at least 15 people have died from the snow and the deep freeze.
The roads are slick with ice, and some expressways were closed as far south as Tampa. In fact, the Veterans Expressway was closed due to so-called black ice there. Many of the car accidents were in the south, where there are far less snowplows and salt trucks to assist. Hundreds of weather delays continue at airports, and North Carolina had reported more than 2,300 vehicle crashes. Now, if you're traveling north this weekend, be sure to take it slowly and allow for extra time. Despite the cold weather right now, new numbers are in on 2017, and experts say it was one of the hottest years on record. According to NASA's record books, it was the second warmest year, and NOAA says it was the third warmest. The two agencies have been monitoring temperatures around the globe since 1880 and said their varying findings come down to the different methods they use to analyze global temperatures. For the latest on this story and other news and breaking news, go to the App Store and look for WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, back here in Florida, the juice is loose, but he's not coming to the Sunshine State. According to O.J. Simpson's lawyer, the Football Hall of Famer isn't planning to move from Las Vegas to Florida anymore. Now, before he was released from prison back in October, Simpson had originally told state parole officials that he was planning on moving here to Florida. Since his release, Simpson, who was convicted of armed robbery, has been playing lots of golf and has yet to file paperwork to move to a different state. Maybe our deep freeze.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
A deadly start for a new high-speed train line that links Fort Lauderdale to West Palm Beach. A second person has died after being struck by a Brightline train. Boynton Beach police say the train struck a bicyclist Wednesday as he pedaled around the gates and trying to beat the train. Didn't work. This comes less than a week after a woman was killed while the train company gave preview runs before its debut that she might have taken her own life. Two other deaths occurred on separate Brightline routes in Boca Raton and another in Deerfield Beach previously.
All right, this next story. A Tampa man was arrested for DUI after he reportedly got his drive-thrus mixed up. The manager at Spring Hills Bank of America called authorities to report an impaired driver after finding this man, Douglas Francisco, unconscious behind the wheel in the bank's drive-thru lane where he'd been napping for a bit. Now, the manager was able to wake Francisco up. Now, as he did, Francisco asked the bank manager for a burrito, thinking he was actually in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Well, Francisco was later found in the parking lot by deputies with oxycodone and Xanax on him, both of which were prescribed to him. He was transported to the Hernando County Jail on a $1,000 bond. No word yet on whether he got that burrito.
It's like a comedy skit. Go up to the bank
You
and
can't even make this up.
pull up to the bank and order lunch.
You can have a burrito. We were saying that if it was the other way around, you would have been in more trouble. If you would have pulled up in a drive-through, like a food drive-through, asking for money.
At Taco Bell.
Yeah, that would have been worse.
That wouldn't end well.
Much worse.
In Tallahassee, Governor Scott says he supports a full ban on texting and driving. The state has some of the nation's deadliest roads, but it is one of the last states to not fully have a ban about texting and driving. The legislature is currently considering a bill to allow police to ticket someone for texting as a primary offense. The governor said there are too many accidents where drivers are distracted. Currently, Florida law says texting by non-commercial drivers is just a secondary offense.
Governor Scott also says he will not set special elections to replace former state Senator Jack Latvala and the late Representative Don Honfeld. Now that means the seats will be left open until November. This comes after Latvala resigned effective January 5th following an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment. And Honfeld, of course, died of cancer back on December 24th.
We have listened to the supervisor of elections for both the races, the two races, and their recommendation is we don't have the special elections, so we're not. I'm going to follow their lead.
The two seats, which will be open on the November ballot, are among 6 that are currently vacant in the legislature. Even before Scott's decision, the election timelines meant that Honfeld's House seat and Latvala's Senate seat would be vacant through the ongoing regular legislative session.
The Florida Supreme Court is disbarring a lawyer who told clients medical marijuana was legal and issued official legal certification cards more than 2 years before it was actually approved in Florida. A ruling states some of Ian Christensen's clients were arrested and others lost their jobs due to his bad advice. Christensen formed Health Law Services before voters approved medical marijuana back in 2016. Christensen would issue identification cards saying a doctor prescribed its use. He also issued grow signs and told clients it was legal for them to grow marijuana.
Well, someplace where it's actually legal, Northport's first medical cannabis dispensary has officially opened its doors. Certerra Wellness is on Tamiami Trail in Northport. The Tampa-based company has dispensaries all over the state of Florida. They say there is a need on the Suncoast and found the city of Northport the best place to open up. There, patients can browse different types and methods of getting the best treatment that they need. Certerra says its aim is to bring together industry leaders from medicine and then cannabis research to discover and advance the benefits of cannabis-based products.
This is a place for both people to come gather, learn, exchange information, learn more about what cannabis products can do for them or a loved one, but it is also a location where people can pick up their recommendations from their physicians, their actual cannabis products.
And that wellness center will be open daily for patients who do have a valid prescription.
All right, 5:42 right now. Up next, he tried to say. I get excited sometimes.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. The latest and first alert traffic, and also how to soothe a sore throat.
We need this. We've got some tips to help you get through that annoying and irritating condition. We've got that for you up next in Health Smart.
But first, a busy place right now. Will the Senate help keep the government open? The House passed the bill. Now it's up to the Senate. We'll have more news on that and John's forecast straight ahead.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
A promise was made.
A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we still have some very chilly weather out there this morning, no doubt about that. Widespread temperatures in the 30s. But we're not seeing 20s this morning. And even though we have a freeze warning that was issued yesterday afternoon for areas east of the interstate, it is very unlikely that anybody is going to see freezing temperatures for an extended period of time. If you live east of the interstate, you may, especially in Hardee County, see temperatures that touch the freezing point in some locations for a brief period of time. But widespread freezing is just not in the cards. In fact, if you look at stations like Ona and Arcadia, they're running at about 34, 35 degrees, where 24 hours ago they were at 25. So significant change over the last 24 hours. 38 degrees here in Sarasota, dew point at 31. Still dry air in place, no doubt about that, and heated air does feel very, very dry. But at least we're not touching the freezing mark, and don't expect it anywhere to the west of the interstate. Northeast wind comes in at about 6. Today's planner calls for those temperatures, which will probably drop down in Sarasota to maybe 35, and that might be generous. It might be a little bit warmer than that. Start to climb up pretty quickly under the influence of plenty of sunshine today, up to around 63 degrees. Now that's still much colder than average, coming in with about a 10-degree below average temperature. But yesterday we were 20 degrees below average, so we'll call it a warm-up, why don't we? And then as we head into the afternoon and into the later part of the evening, we will start to drop off again, but we'll be much warmer tonight than we are this morning. And our temperatures will drop off a little more slowly because there's more moisture in the atmosphere, and it should be a lovely evening outside. Here are my projected overnight lows for our area. Got 48 in Rotunda tonight, Placitas 49, 46 in Northport, 48 in Inglewood, Venice, Osprey coming in at 46, Mayaca at 45. I'm sure it's not that this morning. We'll get a phone call, I'm sure, from Becky in Mayaca, who will report near freezing temperatures or maybe a little below. 45 degrees Lakewood Ranch, 46 degrees in Sarasota, 47 degrees in Bradenton tonight. So the warm-up starts as early as this afternoon with 49 degrees perhaps in Anna Maria, and Parrish coming in still at 45 degrees, a little cooler there. We have a temperature trend which looks pretty good. Now these are low temperatures forecast over the course of the next 7 days. And you can see after tonight's nighttime low in the 40s, we're back in the 50s and maybe even touching the 60s on Monday, as we'll have a little bit more cloud cover because of an approaching cold front. That cold front will lower our temperatures, but it's going to be a minor cold front, only dropping us down to about 53 on Tuesday. So we're looking at high pressure building in for us over the course of the weekend, shifting our winds from a more northeasterly direction to a more due easterly direction. So that's a warm up for us. No freeze tonight. And maybe a few showers possible next week with an approaching cold front. But it will be a very minor cold front. North wind coming in at about 5 to 10, and the forecast looks like this. Today, daytime high tops out at about 64, kind of cool out there, 10 degrees below average or a little less. Tomorrow and Sunday, just about at our average high temperatures. Then on Monday, we'll probably cloud up a little bit, put in a chance of showers. We'll have an approaching front that really won't cool us down all that much, but it will settle down to the south, stall out, and kind of wag its tail over us for the next couple of days and bring us a chance of rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but minor chances, and rainfall accumulations not that great. Back to you guys.
All right, taking a look at that first alert traffic at 5:50. The roads are looking pretty good out there this morning. Just a little bit of congestion that started to get built up right there on 41 South. And then in North Sarasota County, the roads are looking pretty clear right there. Just your normal congestion this morning. And in South County, just a little bit of a glitch on 41. Other than that, the traffic is looking pretty good out there this morning. Well, in this hour's Health Smart, sore throats are not only irritating, but can be a sign of more severe health issues.
Mary Maloney has some tips on how to soothe that sore throat.
Most sore throats are usually triggered by the common cold or flu, but the cold, dry air can also be a factor. Experts say gargling with salt water can be an effective way to ease a sore throat, as salt dries moisture and can prevent bacteria from growing. Soothe your irritated throat by staying hydrated to thin mucus. Hot liquids such as tea and broth are good choices because the warmth soothes pain. Adding honey to your tea or other warm drinks may also help. Honey has known antimicrobial properties, which speed healing. Studies in children have shown that honey is better than popular over-the-counter cough suppressants. Keep the throat moist by sucking on a piece of hard candy or a medicated lozenge that can have a numbing effect. If your sore throat is severe, accompanied by a fever or swollen glands, you might have a bacterial infection and should see a doctor. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Now, Erin's top tip for me, honey.
Honey, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
So my grandma used to have like honey and lemon and I think whiskey in there too. I
That's
don't know if that was a good idea or
That's
not.
where it all came from.
That's what went horribly
Oh,
wrong.
good. What's in your coffee cup? Up next, your day's top local news headlines, and the cold weather is taking a toll on marine mammals here in the Sunshine State.
But they've got it right. We're going to show you why huddling together is the best way to keep warm when we come back.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you this morning on the Suncoast.
Another day of chilly weather right now, down to about 38 degrees. Temperatures, though, should rebound into the 70s by Sunday.
Plus happening today, the woman accused of giving people Botox out of her Bradenton home will be in court today. Diane Danka was arrested performing Botox injections, among other services, without having a license.
And Governor Scott says he would support a full ban on texting and driving. Right now, it's a secondary offense in Florida.
Finally this hour, these chilly temperatures make you want to just curl up in bed and layer on the blankets. Well, manatees kind of have the same idea, only they like to do it even better. They huddle together to keep warm. The deep freeze across the south has caused some major dips in temperatures, and as a result, these guys gather along the coast and cuddle up together. I like that.
I want to
They got the right idea. Go cuddle with someone right now and watch another hour of news straight ahead.